All right, welcome back, everybody, to day one of the G League playoffs. We had a marathon of a day, but the players in Group B, no real rest for them. They are back. They're going to have to be ready to go. Our first match for today, Tongfu versus ForLove. The second match for today will be ldD China versus Vici Gaming. That one's going to happen a little bit later on. We have a few hours break after this, most likely, but wow, what a day it was yesterday. I'm ldD. I'm joined here by Statsman Bruno. Bruno, did you get to see the games yesterday?
Yes, I did. I mean, yesterday it was today for me. It was so long. I started watching it before going to sleep. Then I went to sleep. I slept my 8 hours, and the games kept going. I mean, whoa.
And then they just kept on going. And there was a moment where I thought it was going to be another three-way tiebreaker. It was close. Frankly, MEFC, they probably should have won that match they had against Tongfu.
Yeah.
They had a big lead. They had the better pushing lineup. We thought they were going to take it. There were so many surprises yesterday, though. Not just that match, but Vici Gaming. I think the big surprise on that, they really didn't show any signs of being able to take out other teams in Group B. And then all of a sudden, they're 2-0ing a team. I mean, they showed some signs of individual skill, but the team play didn't seem to be there. And then all of a sudden, they were just crushing everyone.
You know, I mean, I've been watching VG. I have a friend that was telling me, you have to watch these guys because they're really good. They're really good. I mean, they weren't winning. They lost 2-0 the first 2 matches. The way they played, it looked like they were learning. On both of the second matches of their first group stages games, the first one they lost terribly. It was a stomp. The second one they lost when they had a kill advantage. So they were getting the kills. They were getting things going in early and mid game. And then they couldn't capitalize on that in the late game. So I said, well, I mean, these guys certainly have some kind of potential. If they can tap into that and they can make something happen, I was expecting an upset, or at least one game. They went 2-0, which was quite impressive, and I'm happy for that. So, well, I mean, wish them the best for the next stage, right?
Yeah, wish them the best. MEFC was the team that went home, and I mentioned this yesterday, but also DK. They're the team that got knocked out of Group A, and boy, they have to be a little frustrated. For anyone who doesn't know, the way the group stages work in the G League is they're random as far as which teams end up in which group. The only thing that's seeded, I believe, is the 2 top finishers from the last season. They separate them. So last season was IG and DK, and they put DK in Group A, they put IG in Group B. But the other 6 who qualified, it's random how they end up getting assigned to the groups. And, you know, maybe something that people would argue could be changed for future seasons, but DK, the other team that went home, that was a couple of days ago. DK as well as MEFC. Even MEFC getting knocked out. Not something that people expected going into this tournament, I think.
Well, I mean, I don't complain about the group seedings because, yeah, well, I mean, it could be better in a way, but the way it was random, it was quite good. I mean, you can say that the weaker teams were ForLove and Vici Gaming, and there were 1 in each group. I mean, I said that you're supposed to be the weaker teams, but they both went through. And, I mean, other than having both ldD in the same group, they were pretty even. I wouldn't say that one group was easier than the other. And in the end, I mean, we had upsets in both of them. DK was a team that everyone was expecting to go through. Same with MEFC. So I don't know. The groups were pretty even, and surprises were everywhere.
And let's be honest, all DK had to do to force a tiebreak situation was at least take 1 game off ForLove. They came out flat in that first match. Maybe they underestimated them. Maybe ForLove was just playing better. I think a little bit of both, to be totally honest. And they lost that game. They held their destiny in their hands. They couldn't seize it. And Vici Gaming, they had the same thing yesterday. They had to win 2-0. They didn't have their destiny before their match came. It came down to IG 2-0 in MEFC, which was fairly likely, but certainly not expected. But then when they had the opportunity, they seized it, and they capitalized. And you have to credit them for performing under pressure. We'll see more of Vici Gaming later today, but I think it is a good time to start to turn our attention specifically towards today's matchup. ForLove versus Tongfu. What are some of your initial thoughts as you look at this match?
Well, I mean, ForLove has been one of the surprises in this tournament, and they've been playing really well. I've been paying attention to their games because before this, they just played in, I think, G1 qualifiers. I didn't know too much of them. They're playing very, very well. I mean, Hansi has been the one playing that Nyx Assassin pretty much every game and going ganking with that Night Stalker, maybe a Storm Spirit, something, doing something weird with 8K, the mid player. And it's been paying off for them. It's really interesting to watch them play. And of course, you have Banana, a classic player, that always surprises. He sometimes goes for the off lane, he sometimes goes for the jungle. He's kind of a weird, he doesn't have a fixed position. But I mean, they've been playing solidly. Not a big star. No one like, you don't have a carry like Burning or a mid player like Ferrari, but they've been winning pretty convincingly when they did.
There were some, like you said, Banana is very unpredictable, and one thing we've seen from ForLove, they seem to prioritize getting those gankers, whether it's been, maybe a 3-position hero like a Bat Rider or a Prophet. They prioritize their gankers farm and levels, even sometimes over their carries. Like we saw Tutu, he got solo mid one game as anti-mage, and it was a rough lane for him. His farm was not that great, but it came to the mid game. Hansi was on the Nyx Assassin. I think this is the game you're referring to. I believe it was first versus DK, I want to say, with Tutu on the anti-mage, and 8K on the Bat Rider, something like that, and Hansi on the Nyx Assassin. And they prioritize the gankers, but then in the mid-game, that's where the anti-mage looks to catch up. It's a very unconventional style. I don't know if we'll see it, but it is something they've shown some favoritism towards, and not something other teams really do. Sure, other teams give their support levels, but not often at the expense of the carry.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at them, they really, really love to run the Nyx Assassin. And I'm looking at their favorite heroes right now, and they also go with the Shadow Demon, which is quite interesting because when you have Nyx Assassin and Shadow Demon in the same lane, I mean, you're going for a tri-lane there, and it has some potential. And you say, well, you can go aggressive with that, you can go defensive and defend the carry. But what they do is actually, as you say, they just take Nyx Assassin away after first couple minutes, and they take it to the mid lane. And then the mid hero that can be a Night Stalker or something that can gank, I don't know, that they played, Storm Spirit, even a Bad Rider, and they just leave the Nyx Assassin in the mid lane. So 8 minutes into the game, you have an Nyx Assassin that's level 6 that can gank with Vendetta really fast. He can even get some farm, so he can get the Arcane Boot, even go for a Dagon sometimes. It's an interesting kind of play. I mean, I haven't seen any other team play just like they did. And maybe that was their advantage. They were surprising the other teams because they weren't expecting to see something like this.
And the one other interesting aspect to this game is I don't know how much time Tongfu's really had to prepare for the specific opponent. Sure, maybe they've done general preparation. They got to see ForLove play in the group stages, but they just got done playing those tiebreakers. I think they probably got a decent amount of sleep. It wasn't that late. There were like 12 hours between, so you'd figure at least 6 hours of sleep, hopefully, for them, factoring in travel time, eating, stuff like that. Not ideal by any means, but the big thing is they're not going to have had much of a chance to prepare. Whereas for ForLove, coming from that first group, they've had all the time in the world, and they've also gotten to see extra games from Tongfu because Tongfu, they had to make it into the playoffs. They had to play those tiebreakers to get here. Yeah,
and Tongfu is a team that, I mean, from what I've seen from them, they don't have a defined play style. I mean, we talked about ForLove, the way they play. They certainly have a game plan, but I've seen them pick like lots of different heroes and lots of different strats. For example, the last 2 games today, they were playing Anti-Mage and Night Stalker, like trying to get the Night Stalker to dominate the mid game and let the Anti-Mage farm. It worked one of those games, it didn't work the other, I think. No, actually it worked both games because they won versus MFC and BT Gaming, and that was a tiebreaker. So they had that going for them, but then other games, they just went for a heavy farm, Lone Druid with a Magnus in the offlane. They did crazy stuff. They even started picking Crystal Maiden as a support, which is something that we haven't seen since the International 2, I guess. So, I mean, expect many surprises. This is not a predictable team. And ForLove, what they do is they try to take into the first ban, they try to remove the key heroes for the other team. I mean, they removed Chen from LGD International because they know that Mystery played him too well. They removed Undyne because they know that Chuan played really well in IG. I don't think that Tongfu has a really strong hero that you want to ban straight away, and that might be an advantage for them.
Yeah, I look at Tongfu, and there's not that one hero like the Yao Magnus for LGD China, or the junglers for LGD International, or the carry heroes for Burning, where when you're playing DK, where there's just those heroes that it's an obvious ban versus them. That being said, they're a pretty well-rounded and balanced team. All their players did make contributions yesterday. This one, I really feel this match could go either way. I feel it's pretty even. For ForLove, what we've mostly seen is emphasis on ganking, spreading the map, and split pushing. We don't really see much not just split pushing, but that's a component of it. But it's a little bit more of a ganking focus. With Tongfu, seems like they've been favoring, on the first few days, we saw a lot of 5-man, but then when it came down to the tiebreakers, it was a lot more focused on, get to the late game. Sure, they had a mag, but it was more about stalling and split pushing, and not as much 5-man and group up. And if you're split pushing, you got to make sure you get rid of heroes like Nyx Assassin or Bat Rider, or even the Night Stalker perhaps, or you're liable to give up a lot of kills. So, and speaking of those heroes, are we really going to see them? Like, for me, these are just obvious bans at this point. You look, if anyone did check it out, Ghost2Gamers did a nice article sort of summing up a lot of the recent bans, and I think your website as well has the stats up to date for this tournament.
Exactly. I mean, I think the top ban in this league, in 26 bans out of 32 matches is Undying. But I mean, if you count bans and peak, the greatest hits are Bat Rider, Lone Druid, and Nyx Assassin. And then, surprisingly, after that, Shadow Demon. I mean, Shadow Demon, if you look at this, you compare this to the European scene where you see like lots of first ban, first big wisp, lots of Chaos Knight, which has been played just only once in this tournament. You see the huge difference, and this is great about Dota, because you can say, well, I mean, I play all day against Chinese players and Chinese teams, and this is what works, and this is the best thing. Then a European player goes and believes that the best thing is something different, and none of them is wrong. I mean, it adjusts to the meta game. I mean, because everyone's playing in a certain way, then the European scene has the Wisp as a great pick. Now, the way they play in China, the way it's not a farming oriented like it used to be before. I mean, it's more dynamic, but they do give some importance to those supports. So you see more importance on the Nyx Assassin, on the Shadow Demon. And it's great. I mean, I can't wait until the next tournament where we can see European Dota and Chinese Dota in the same tournament.
Yeah, the Wisp is just it has not been picked once, and it doesn't fit with the Chinese style. It's too weak in the laning stage. I mean, I say that maybe Funix Wisp has a place versus these teams, because his somehow has a way of being very strong. And there are a few players. Puppy's played a pretty good Wisp, but even if you play Wisp well, there's only so much you can do with zero base armor and no real lane control. Like, you could tether away to safety, but really, are you getting kills? Probably not against a lot of the strong solos, the offensive tri-lanes. And that's something we may see in this particular series. Something both teams have run from time to time is the offensive tri-lane. With ForLove, they seem to favor more of a defensive one because, like we talked about, they put their emphasis on the early levels. But Tongfu, maybe they'll look to get aggressive here. Find that 1v1 matchup. 2-2's anti-mage, one of his key heroes, but on the flip side, we have Hal playing that as well. And whoever gets their hands on that anti-mage, it will be one of the priority carries this series. They may look for that 1v1 matchup against the enemy off lane.
Well, anti-mage has been one of the priority carries all tournament long. I mean, up to a couple days ago, he was 100% win rate. Now it's 9 out of 12, so 75%. It means that whoever gets the anti-mage gets a clear advantage. And why is that? I mean, people tend to say, there's a blanket response well, anti-mage is a really fast farmer. I mean, if you're racing against other carry, you'll probably get your items sooner. I mean, there are lots of things that you can say. But the truth is that the way it works here, I mean, it's not like European Dota. You remember Havos when he used to pick anti-mage all day, and he went for a quick Vanguard Vladimir's and just start 5-manning like they used to do with Navi. It's not like that here. I mean, this is not about farming. I mean, it is, but they're farming really fast, and it's all about that 6 slot. I mean, it's 4v4 Dota and trying to win 4v4. And then after 30 minutes, you see both carries, and you see, well, who has more items and who can make the most impact in the game. And I mean, the key match in this tournament so far has been Anti-Mage versus Lone Druid. And Anti-Mage has been winning that.
Yeah, he's been winning that match with him. I think with ldD China, they may have taken down the Anti-Mage, or maybe I'm thinking of a different series. No, they think that they won with the Anti-Mage versus DK,
yeah.
But I think they're the one team that could deal with it, just because their 5-man is so precise, and with that Yao Mag, it is fairly difficult to defend against, but even so, it's tough. Teams have gotten very good. They're picking a lot of counter-pushing supports like the Keeper of the Light, and that makes it hard to group up and go. We also see that huge emphasis on getting an early gem, and that's going to be one of the interesting things in this series. I think especially, we saw Tongfu yesterday. They kept on turning to the Mu Night Stalker and getting that Aghanim Scepter up, getting the gem up, and that was really one of the keys to their success. When they really needed it, I would say more than anything else, it's been the Moon Night Stalker that kept them in games yesterday and ultimately created that space that Hal needed to farm.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you get the Dark Scepter, if you can farm it, and that's the problem with, there are some mids like Templar Assassin that can farm really, really a lot. And you see the end game scores, and you see the goal per minute, and he's 600 and something, 500. Night Stalker is one of those those mid heroes that don't get that much farm just because they're not actively farming all game. They're just searching for ganks. You can't get that much money, but if you can get a couple ganks rolling, and this patch is all about ganking, if you can get a couple ganks rolling, you can get Scepter quickly, maybe at 20 minutes, and it really makes a difference because all of a sudden, if you get a gem, you can reward whatever you want. You're pretty much ungankable, and as I told you, we're playing 4-man Dota while the carry farms, and all that vision, all that, it's like having a free war, a free Beastmaster Hawk all the time, and it really helps.
Yeah, now, again, with ForLove, we may not see 4 Protect 1. We may see more of the multiple semi-carries. It really depends what 2-2 plays, and what we've seen a lot of teams turn to if you're up against the Night Stalker mid is getting that Templar Assassin, particularly the TA. I would say Queen of Pain, but we haven't seen her at all. It's been just the TA. Even though Winter still keeps on telling me I'd like to see that Queen of Pain. I think it's a great mid matchup for these melee mid-game controllers like the Beastmaster, the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
We haven't been seeing it though. It's always been the TA, and for ForLove, if 2-2's playing that, then they probably won't be going for a hard carry. That's where we'll see the multiple semi-carries, but that's something to keep an eye on too. If that Night Stalker comes out, the TA is something that either will be banned or that ForLove will be looking to pick up themselves to counter the Night Stalker mid.
Well, I think Tongfu, what they have to do right now is just ban those heavy gank heroes. I mean, it sounds like a broken record, but you have to get rid of that Nyx Assassin, and you have to get rid of that Bad Rider, because those two heroes are really, really good at starting things. So I think they will be banning something like that. Otherwise, you're just opening all the matchup for ForLove, and look what they banned. They banned Anti-Mage straight away. They don't want to run. I don't want Tongfu to run that.
Chinese stream, show me the draft. Stop trolling me. They were showing the predictions for this series. It seems like the fans, 66% believe that ForLove are going to win. 34% on Tongfu. All right, guys, come on. I want to see that pretty draft overlay. Let's get inside the game. Stop talking about the game. There we go. Anti-Mage banned out by ForLove. They have the first pick, and they know Tongfu like to take this early. Whenever you first pick, you're forcing the enemy team to ban the Nyx Bat Rider. Otherwise, you're taking it. And ForLove, starting with the Anti-Mage, what will they do next?
Well, I mean, they know that now they can't play against that. I mean, they can opt to ban the Lone Druid and limit their carry options by a lot. You know that they don't. Sometimes they don't ban. They don't play a carry-heavy lineup. They, as you said, they like those semi-carries. So that would be a way to limit their options really fast. But I don't know. There are lots of ways to actually go for that.
I wonder. I also want to mention, just as one of the final storylines coming into this match while ForLove deliberates here, longdd had a very tough day yesterday. He was doing the drafting for them. He was in that captain seat in the first couple of games. And after their 2-0 defeat, they ended up replacing him as far as the captainship goes. And for the rest of the day, he wasn't doing any of the drafting. And not only that, but he was also really struggling. He wasn't playing that jungling or 3 position anymore. They threw him onto more of a hard support role, not even the 4 position in some cases. And he really struggled. So I really want to see coming into the series, can longdd bounce back? Can he make the right decisions? And also, what sort of heroes is he going to be playing? And it looks like Veronica's Mag. For some reason, this one's always slips under the radar for me.
Yes.
But Veronica's playing Mag like 80% of Tongfu's games.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. And I think that people aren't that scared of Magnus as much as it was last patch. But I mean, still, when you have Veronica playing that, he can put some very mean reverse polarity, and he always gets some farm in that offlane. And well, we see what ForLove picked, right?
No, they're showing player camera shots now. Don't spoil the chat.
I won't spoil. That's why I said.
Just wait like 10 seconds. They'll come back and show it. But in the meantime, everybody, that's a pretty sharp jacket there, I gotta say. Looking good. Looking good, ForLove. And come on. See, once you say they pick something, then I get impatient. But I like getting the camera shots, and oh wow, draft well underway. ForLove getting the 2-2 Lone Druid most likely, and The Keeper of the Light and Tongfu, no surprises. They get that Night Stalker. They respond with the Panda. Wow, quick response back with the Faceless Void. Okay, so if we look at ForLove, their mid-game split push and Death Ball, very scary. You have a Lone Druid and a Panda. That mid-game timing, we've talked about it to death on this stream. It can be a lot to deal with, but you have some very disruptive heroes for that. The Night Stalker Silence, the Faceless Void Chrono, and later on in the game, that can be a tool to make the Lone Druid quite useless.
Well, yeah, and even though Faceless Void is kind of a hit or miss kind of carry, now you have to witness the potential of having a Faceless Void and Darkseer. There's potential for grouping up all the enemy teams, and when you get a Battle Fury, you just start hitting and killing everyone. It's kind of like having a reverse polarity, but even longer. But I really like the ForLove picks. I mean, it really suits their style. They're going to go for that Brewmaster, which means that you want to have a quick level 6, maybe a quick Blink Dagger, and go have business. I mean, even though you don't use it with that, I mean, he's a really, really great pusher. Even if you need to pop that ultimate form, which you don't want to push in just. But I mean, it kind of helps. Lone Druid, great at siege in towers. Keeper of the Light, a great pusher and counter pusher. I mean, it really fits what ForLove wants to do.
They do have siege breakers, though. They have heroes that can just jump you. The Faceless Void, the Night Stalker, and the Darkseer. These heroes can all get on top of you in the hurry. Of course, they don't have any supports. And ForLove, well, pretty obvious for them. They're going to start banning those out. They got a premier support in the Keeper of the Light. Now they look to remove as many as possible. And Tongfu, crucially, they banned the Shadow Demon because he's very painful to play against as a Night Stalker or a Faceless Void. And Rubik is in the pool. That's the one big support remaining. You would love to get your hands on that if you're ForLove. Heck, if you're Tongfu, you'd love to be stealing Illuminate or the Panda Ultimate. So that's going to be a hero that most likely will be banned out here. The one thing I'm thinking for Tongfu, they would really like to get that Faceless Void a lane where he can just win the lane 1v1 and where they don't need him backup. And normally with ForLove, it's been...
Not only they're running support.
I'm sorry?
No, I just had a connection issue, so I'm lagging.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Ooh, the Banana Prophet getting banned out here.
Yeah, I was saying that they're not only banning supports, they're banning range heroes because the big problem the Tongfu lineup has right now, they have 3 melee heroes, and that's a pain to lane.
It is. These are pretty good laning melee heroes, aside from the Void, but even so.
But still, I mean, you don't want to have too many heroes, depending on too many heroes, melee heroes, when you have a Faceless Void, because when you pop the Chrono, that means that Darkseer, Night Stalker, well, they can throw a Void into the air or just a vacuum or something, but they won't be able to right-click unless the Chronosphere is positioned like perfectly in the edge of the Chronosphere. And that's an issue that Tongfu might have. I mean, they can be kited pretty easy, even though Night Stalker is really fast, Darkseer has that surge, and Faceless Void can jump. But they're still melee heroes, and if you can somehow get away from them, pop a blind in the middle of them, might be hard for them to actually catch up.
It's going to be hard for... Like you said, there are a lot of melee heroes on their team, and that Chronosphere can work against you. And here's a hero that can really punish the Chronosphere. If you catch your team, suddenly 2 heroes are getting shackle shot, and maybe Void gets attached to one of his own allies. They get the Chen, one of the best supports, I think, left in the pool, but does further weaken their lanes. There's going to be no pressure from Tongfu in the laning stage, really, at all. And even if they wanted to go for some smoke ganks, who's going to combo with the Chen? There's not many combo heroes left, so it looks like just a farming-oriented Chen. And ForLove, with this Windrunner, we may very well see an offensive tri-lane. With the Lone Druid 1v1 against Darkseer, he can win that matchup. The Panda mid will do well against the Night Stalker, if not beat the Night Stalker. I'd say he has the slight edge. And the Void could be shut down by the offensive tri-lane. This is something IG has done. When the enemy team picks a weak laning carry like a Faceless Void, and they have the early Keeper of the Light, they turn to the Windrunner tri-lane with the Keeper of the Light there as well. And Void, he may lose that early tower. They don't have anti-push either, Bruno. Actually, I feel like looking at this draft, Tongfu, their draft is looking very, very weak in the laning stage. And even in the mid-game, it's going to be hard to stop the pushes.
I'm really hoping for them to get a Leshrac, actually. I'm trying to think of the supports that are still online. And even though it's not a reliable stun, because that's another problem. They don't have stuns right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can't count Bash. You can't really... Chrono is great, but it's got a very long cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, Chen, you can get a Centaur, but it's not really reliable stun by any means. So you have to have something that gives you some kind of control, I mean, other than the Chronosphere. You want something reliable. You don't have that Rubik anymore. You don't have that Lina, which, is a really great pick for, like, when you get a slow, like the Night Stalker or the Faceless Void jumps on you. I don't think there are many options right now for them. They can go for Lion, maybe?
Oh, maybe. The problem with that, though, is ForLove's going to be offensive tri-laning. They've got the Windrunner, Earthshaker, Keep of the Light, long-range spam and harassment, and killing power, and Lion doesn't offer you anything. I agree with you. It seems like one of the best supports left, and it's great against Panda in the mid-game, but I don't think he can get the levels. I'm very worried about Tongfu's laning stage.
Yeah, maybe a Shadow Shaman as well. I don't know. I mean, it's really hard. I think they drafted themselves into a corner right now. They must be thinking, well, what can we do here to make an impact?
You know,
what we do know is that hero will be Sansheng's hero for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be that hard support for him. longdd will be playing the Chen most likely. I'd be very surprised. See, I say the only reason I say most likely because he always plays that jungler, but he was sort of, I don't want to say demoted, but he was playing hard support all of a sudden. It is the Lion. Bruno calls it. But will that Lion work against an aggressive tri-lane with Earthshaker, Windrunner, Keep of the Light? We're going to find out soon. Bruno, let's get inside the game and introduce the players. So over on the side of Tongfu, longdd will be playing that 4 position. He'll be on the Chen. How? On the Faceless Void. Not being pulled any region just yet. For Veronica, going to be playing the Darkseer. We have sansheng on the Lion, Moo on the Night Stalker. And what do we have over on the side of ForLove?
On the side of ForLove, we have Banana or Bew going with Keeper of the Light. Sorry. We have you at the Windrunner probably going for that off lane. We have Tutu with the carry Lone Druid. 8K going for the Brewmaster mid, and Hansi with the Earthshaker, the hard support of this team.
And this is exactly, like, these are the lanes that ForLove wants. They want to go aggressive with the Earthshaker, Keeper of the Light, Windrunner, and they want to do it against the Void's lane with the Lion there to support. And Tongfu, I don't really think there's another option. It's not like they can really go aggressive. Void and Lion are just horrible as aggressive tri-lane heroes, so they're pretty much forced into this. But these are exactly the lanes ForLove are expecting. They're the matchups they want. And then even in that bottom lane, Lone Druid can dominate the Darkseer. Early on, he'll have a little bit of trouble, but once he gets that Entangle out, once he hits level 5, it gets very difficult for the Darkseer.
Yes, so I mean, from the start here, we see something like scouting in the rune. They know that all 6 heroes are right next to the rune here, but I don't think nothing will happen.
Generally, you don't want to man up against a Void. Oh, he's going to be forced to take Time Walk at level 1, but he's trapped, and he will get over the cliff. Still, Salve and all... In fact, most of his mana already used up by that level 1 Time Walk. And now they're warding off the big camp here. There won't be any stacking. Interesting, because, see, a lot of times you'll want to pull that camp, but that's when you have a solo. When they have an offensive tri-lane, they just want to be pressuring this lane constantly, and if Tongfu try to pull, ForLove are either going to kill the tower, or just go and steal that pull themselves, or kill the heroes pulling.
Yeah, look at Veronica down there. He wanted to creep skip, but I don't know what he was trying to accomplish there. I mean, the creeper was too far away when we tried to push. And he wants to... Yeah, he has a style chill, and he can maybe creep skip and try to get the lane pushing so that Lone Druid can last hit.
Yeah, you can try and mess with that with your bear and wrap the creeps around behind the tower from the enemy team as well, but we'll see what he goes for. For the moment, one thing that's always key in these matchups is the ward vision towards the enemy offensive tri-lane. And right now, I look at Tongfu. They can't see that Keeper of the Light channeling Illuminate. They can't see the fissure being cast from the fog. They don't have any vision of this region, and that's something you really want to have when you're up against this offensive tri-lane.
Yes, I mean, it's really unfortunate. I like the fact that they have this war, but I don't know. I mean, there are better positions right now. You really want to see what that Keeper of the Light is up to. And you might want to be careful and try to de-ward if they have something. I mean, I'm kind of surprised at the fact that they didn't ward this.
I saw a frog hopping towards mid. No, it'll be okay.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, that top lane is kind of weird. I think that ForLove has the advantage right now, and there are worse plays, but none too decisive right now.
Well, sansheng does hit level 2. They're looking to pressure the tower. They didn't ward off the small camp, and Chen, he's got the GG Wildkin. Getting that bird early on can turn the tri-lane around. This is very annoying to lane against. They can fissure to stop the tornado, but even then you're forcing out a fissure. You're less worried about the Void getting picked off. The big thing, though, for me is can they shut down his farm? And so far, he's only got 5 CS 2 minutes in. Not a great start. Mid lane, AK going for a regener top. Night Stalker's out farming them, though. This is a matchup where if anyone has a slight edge, it should really be the Panda. You can see the fissure used to cancel that Wildkin tornado. And as far as farm goes in the bottom lane, Lone Druid's getting a lot more than the Void. Sure, Darkseer's getting a good start, but the Lone Druid's having the edge. And you can see he's trying to negate the creep. Or no, was he actually just going to shop? I guess that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to block the creep between tier 2 and tier 1 towers for a while, but I mean, he ran out of regen right now. He literally has no regen at all, and he's probably fetching his bottle. Wow, I was expecting a soul ring, but a bottle works as well.
Yeah, Bottle, the one thing is he wants to help control the runes for the Night Stalker. They have vision of the top rune. Panda and Night Stalker have a similar ability to get those runes, just the Panda's better at pushing, but I guess Veronica, they're going to want him to try and control the bottom side of the map and maybe look to just protect the runes for the Night Stalker.
Yeah, and I mean, it's Brewmaster is catching up to the Night Stalker right now. He even has a couple more denies. I think that the Brewmaster, with the Regen rune on himself, he can really be aggressive right now and get these couple waves. And then if he gets in trouble, he just regens back into life and it'll be okay.
Yeah, you can spam clap every time he comes near the creep wave, and that's what AK is looking for, but he wants to get those last hits while he's doing it. How? Not being harassed quite as much as you would expect. He has run out of regen, but even so, he's getting some decent levels. Let's see, where's that Illuminate going to come from? They still don't have any vision, but the Chen's coming in. longdd forced to pressure this lane a lot. That means he's not free farming. Now Illuminate being channeled. It's going to whiff completely. They may catch him out here. Fissure blocking away the Lion. They know if he gets an Impale off, he's dead, but it doesn't matter. Test of Faith is going to claim that kill, and in comes at least the counter kill on the Lion, so they get something in return, but that's what Tongfu were hoping for. And that Illuminate missing both heroes, the Void and the Lion, really cost them there. Oh boy, there's a net in 2 seconds. Fissure on both. They'll get out.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, he had been the runner if needed. That was really unfortunate for the Keeper of the Light. I mean, they don't have any wards right here. I mean, you expect them to have some ward to... Yeah, now he popped the sentry ward because they were expecting someone to be blocking, but they were body blocking the camp the whole time, so they didn't see the Chen coming.
Oh,
That's
man. Yeah, like you said, there's no actual ward over here. Oh, man. I don't know. Moo's getting a really good start. Panda is too, though. Both of the controllers for both teams off to a big start, and either one could be very powerful against the enemy tri-lane. The thing is, Tongfu, really only the Lion's going to be an easy kill unless you catch the Chen out of position. The Void should be able to get away from that, most likely from that Panda, having his boots up already, having time walk, and going for the defensive build with 2 points of backtrack. So I gotta say, ForLove, running the aggressive tri-lane, it's something that should really work well for them, but not having vision of the Chen, giving up that kill, it may come back to haunt them a little bit. They are jacking the enemy creep pull, but not farming the neutrals, just getting the creeps.
Yeah, and I mean, 2-2 in the bottom lane, he's just having a field day. He's very kind of low life, and he still has 10 seconds until he can resummon him, but it's okay because he has to push Veronica back. He's out of reach and his bottle has no charges. The runes haven't been lucky for them. Brewmaster has been controlling the runes perfectly. I mean, against the Night Stalker, it's great. Now, in 20 seconds, the night will start, and that Night Stalker is level 6. Maybe we can see something happen now. Bottom, maybe, or probably most likely top.
The good news for Moo is he's not going to be ganked. Oh, there is a Panda ult, actually. He's going to go on Moo. He got level 6 at the right moment. Nighttime has begun, though. He's got to Cyclone this. He will do so. Surround him again. Bring him back down. Can they pick him off, though? He's voided. Oh, he's voided the Fire Panda. That's what does all the damage, and now he's going through the trees. This may be a huge turnaround. And, in fact, it should be trouble for 8K. The TP scroll picked up by sansheng. The counter gank will be here. And 8K, he's got to bottle up through this. He's going to start to momentarily, I think. No, there's a regen root bottom. He's not going for it. He goes into the side shop and then back out again. He's in a lot of trouble here. Tries to throw the clap, but isn't going to hit Moo. He's being worked down slowly but surely, and he will drop. Didn't make a run for that regen. Figured he needed to get in the fog to try and bottle up, but it wasn't enough. What a counter gank, and also hitting Nighttime just at that moment. Now no Panda ult. Could have been a tide turner, but now it's going to be the Night Stalker who can look to control the tempo in the mid game, or for the first
Nighttime.
Did
you see that illusion run?
Yeah.
He had the illusion, so he went there, killed the regen. Okay, if I'm not having it, no one's having it at all.
He could have gotten there first, but the problem was he would have never been able to use that rune.
Yeah, I mean, he would have died immediately. Void had no mana, so he didn't have another... sorry, Night Stalker had no mana for another Void. But, I mean, it wasn't enough. Lion could just right-click him to death, and it was unfortunate.
A really early TP scroll. Very good awareness by the Lion. sansheng. Oftentimes, that's not something you'd see, especially when there's so much pressure on the bottom lane, or the top lane, rather.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem right now is that Faceless Void is kind of alone right now because Chen is not doing anything to help him. He opted to go for those quick levels, so he's level 5 right now, instead of trying to just stay in the lane and try to quick push or anything, because, face it, you can't push against an Earthshaker and Keeper of the Light.
And the Windrunner is out farming that Void. The Void's still getting a lot more than you would expect, and it all goes back to that initial engage. Look at the backtracks. Really, Hal? Really? He's feeling pretty ballsy and lucky today. And, well, he's backtracking full charge Illuminate, so who wouldn't?
Well, I mean, yeah, if you go against a trial like that, you really have to max backtrack. As much as you would want to have a longer time walk or even more percentage to bash, you have to survive. That comes first.
I want to point out there are TPs on the Panda and the Earthshaker, and they may be forced to go bottom because they're looking to tower dive 2-2.
Yeah, and oh, that's a really nice TP because did I see it? Yeah, they probably see him.
Well, they certainly see him missing from top lane now.
Yeah, and they're playing careful, but that's really good actually because you are just wasting that nice soccer time right now. He's just roaming around. He can't find the kill bottom. He won't be able to find the kill top. Maybe he's going for the Brewmaster. The ultimate is not up yet, but he's playing very defensive now because he knows Night Stalker is around.
He's got to be very defensive. If he gets silenced here, up should be okay. If you can catch him out with that initial silence, even if the ult is up, they have... Once Lion hits 6, they definitely have the burst damage. Before then, not, but actually Lion's already level 5. He's getting a lot, and Chen, level 6, despite constantly pressuring and helping out this top lane. longdd is keeping up his levels in farm, and this is very efficient play. Sure, it's not Chen you could see right now, but considering how much he's helped the lane, this is about as good as you can expect.
Yeah, I mean, but in the other way, and in the other hand, is it enough now? I mean, the Earthshaker is now trying to get something bottom lane. He probably should rotate me to make something happen, because that Lone Druid is now level 8. He has True Reform. He's going to be unkillable by a solo Night Stalker. So they're going for the Earthshaker instead.
Yeah, they're going to dive on him, and where's that counter-initiate? The Earthshaker is the counter-initiate, but he's not able to find an opening. Moo gets shackled to a tree. Need the Entangle to fly here. Will it come? It does, but still Moo getting body blocked by the bear, and now the Windrunner to slow him down just a little bit. Needs another power shot. Got to find that angle for it. Power shot will connect, and Moo's still on the run. 2-2 brings back in the bear, but there's no boots on this bear. Now Moo searched the safety, and he forced how many heroes? 2 heroes additionally to the bottom lane, on top of the Earthshaker that already died. They do leave the Keeper of the Light top, so there won't be any push happening, but Sansheng's farming mid, Void's farming top, and Chen's in the jungle. Night Stalker is forcing 3-4 heroes to react to his own movements.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing this just really well. As we said before, they don't have the lanes, but if they're forcing those engagements with the Night Stalker being really active, it really pays off for them. Now, look at how Faceless Void is catching up really, really fast before not being able to touch even a creep with those tri-lanes. And Lone Druid, yeah, I mean, he's having almost close to free farm with 60 creeps in 10 minutes. But Faceless Void, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in a couple minutes.
Yeah, that Void is, considering how bad the start was, he's really caught up. He's pretty much farming perfectly at this point, How is, and looks like he will be rushing the Battle Fury. Already the the Broadsword coming out. We'll probably see that Claymore next, just getting the more expensive components as soon as he can buy them. And when you're up against a lot of pretty strong pushing heroes, you know, just buy whatever you can now in case you're forced to come to fights, you die. No big deal, he'll have those items up. But 2-2 up to 2,500 gold. I'm not sure Tongfu has done quite enough yet, because we talked about their team fight on paper. It looks strong with Wall and Chronosphere, but there's a lot of issues with actually executing that team fight properly. Mainly the fact that they're all melee heroes, and the Wall and the Faceless Void ultimate don't really have the best synergy, as you're just trapping illusions in place, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I think Tongfu, they've stabilized. The laning stage looked bleak for them, so being in this position is quite good. But still, ForLove, it's going to be hard to push against them, and the Lone Druid is pretty much getting free farm. Yeah, the Fissure comes out. Veronica forced to run away.
They're pushing this tower, and they can't push this tower right now because there's no way to defend this. Lone Druid just ran away. Earthshaker is going to be
another TP got cancelled there. Hansi's going to die. Tongfu just swarming to the point of attack, and that was a tower that ForLove were not in position to defend. Without the Panda there, they can't take these fights.
No, I mean, this is really cheap even because they're getting these towers, they're getting these skills without actually wasting anything of importance. You're not seeing Chronospheres, Finger of Death, walls or anything like that here. Maybe just one Hand of God in that.
Oh, How backtracks again, but he is trapped by the creeps. He'll have his time walk soon if he needs to get out of here. He's just auto-attacking right now. He's backtracking every single Illuminate. This is getting rather ridiculous. Oh, and he's gonna Chrono the Panda. There is a Finger of... No, there's not. Sorry, there's no Finger of Death. But there's an Impale. Shackle will let Sansheng in place. Sansheng's gonna be the one who's running, but the clap whiffs by AK. Really off on that clap. a good, like, 400 units out of range, and still they're chasing. They have a Fissure. Chrono's on cooldown. They have Panda ultimate. With no Chrono and with Panda ult up, this is where ForLove want to push. But the problem is, already longdd's mid along with Moo, and Moo's diving for Banana. Moo's Night Stalker, he was doing it yesterday, he's doing it again today. Banana's being overrun, and now he'll be picked off, tries to tango out, not able to do so. Good luck counter pushing while that Chrono's down. Night Stalker's diving you, and it's daytime.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, Daytime just started 7 seconds ago, but Tongfu are getting all the upper hand in all these engagements right now. I mean, they couldn't kill anyone top, but they're getting Banana once and again with the Night Stalker, and they still have all their tier 1 towers and in good health. I mean, the only weak one is the top one, which is a third of health, almost a half. So, looking strong right now.
I just want to point out, ForLove has the lineup that's better at counter pushing. They've got the Keeper of the Light, they've got the Windrunner, amazing spam, even Earthshaker's a good counter pusher. And they've got the better straight up pushing lineup because, well, Darkseer's not really, he's good at pressuring one lane, but not really your 5-up and group hero until he's got the mechanism out. And the Chen at this point, longdd's pretty big, but you have Lone Druid, Panda, and tons of spam. You should be able to outpush a lineup that has Void and Night Stalker. But because Moo's never letting them group up because they're losing all these outer towers, ForLove just can't find the right momentum to get that push going. They're never grouped up. They're stronger when they're together than they are individually, but they're never together because they're always dying. They're always TPing to counter gank. They're never forcing the issue, and Tongfu just exploiting their lineup's advantages, and ForLove on the back foot, and it all goes back to the top lane where the positioning of the Keeper of the Light maybe not the best, the warding maybe not the best, and now they're paying for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's an engagement going on in mid, but nothing's really happened. They're trying to push that tower, they can't even push that fast. And look at then again, Chen being everywhere. They're getting that tier 1 top. And there's no way they can defend this, because...
It's funny you say that, because they have Keeper of the Light and Windrunner. They should be able to defend it, but the problem is that they're not in position and they don't want to be there by themselves, because Void, like an anti-mage, can just jump in and kill you if you don't have backup.
Yep, I mean, and that's what they're doing. They're just going with Night Stalker and try to go offensive on all the lanes. So you have to TP to defend yourself against a Night Stalker. And when they see 1 or 2 TP, the Chen immediately goes to the other tower and pushes it. Because he has the 2 creeps right now, three centaurs. That's lots of tank ability for that tower, so he can pretty much single push every single tower.
Yeah, and longdd creating pressure all over the map. We've seen him creating pressure mid, now he's pressuring top, now he's back to farming. And how is his Battle Fury up? A 15-minute Battle Fury. Bruno, the whole point of that offensive tri-lane is so that How doesn't get this Battle Fury at 15 minutes in. Oh boy. And in fact, it's going to come before the Lone Druid Radiance. Remember the Lone Druid, what was he, a good 25 CS ahead of the Void at one point. Oh, how the tides have turned.
Oh yeah, I mean, he does have the Relic right now, which is kind of good. You want to have the Relic, and we're probably going to get this tier 1 tower mid, which is really good because it's going to make the...
That's a triple centaur on AK. He's surrounded by 3 centaurs. They don't do that much damage, but he's chain stunned forever and a day. Here comes the Illuminate, and the wall dropped, and everybody caught inside of the wall. Oh boy, they're ticking down pretty quickly. And will it be enough damage? It looks like everybody's on the back foot. In comes another Illuminate. It's not really the highest level, though. There's your Hand of God, and now the Panda ultimate used. They're all trying to run away here, and Tongfu is just really crushing through ForLove. It all started with that Panda getting chain stunned, and now he's going to be brought down, surrounded by an army of angry centaurs. Wow. Really good engagement from Tongfu, and ForLove, what were they doing there?
longdd, I mean, he's been the key player this match so far. He's been pushing what he has to push.
By far.
Yes. He's been doing great, and they're clueless right now. I don't think ForLove knows what to do. I mean, the Lone Druid died there, so his radius is even farther and farther away, and that Fate Boy is going to start out CSing him pretty soon. And they're going for Roche, and which they can get really easily. So, do you give that Roche, that Aegis, to the Faceless Boy right now, or do you want to give that to the Night Stalker?
Either one's good, I'd say. I don't know. The Faceless Void's pretty tanky at this point. I really don't think he's gonna die. Honestly, with Backtrack and with all the Chen heals. Like, Hal's not even dropping in these fights. Now the Bear's getting killed off by their team. Oh, Bear. I miss you so.
Yeah, I need some cooldown now.
For 88 90 seconds. Wow.
Yeah, good luck with that.
ForLove. Their laning stage looks so devastating. Tongfu's looks so incredibly weak. but it all goes back to longdd, and then Mu, once he had a decent start, really out of control. Well, there's no points in Enchant Totem, but Mu thought there were, so he actually tries to run. Now the Fissure cools down, and it's going to unload. Mu, Aegis is blown. That's a pretty big snipe by ForLove. Not actually getting a kill just yet, but hey, they'll take every little bit they can get.
That's pretty much a free Aegis. I mean, they didn't have to waste anything, just a couple Fissures. And,
that's total mind games. Hansi didn't have any points in Enchant Totem, but he walked up like he did, and it completely fooled the Night Stalker.
Well, fortunately for him, he's about to get level 6, and now with the Echo Slam, maybe he can make something happen in those teamfights as well. I mean, you have to be honest, ForLove's teamfight is not that great. You have that Illuminate, but it's kind of low level yet. You have the Echo Slam and the Pandal, but that's it.
The Echo Slam is it's really going to be like their big counter initiate. You know, that's where you just jump in and all of a sudden you lock the Void down when the fight's about to go his way. Speaking of the Void, this is very similar to an anti-mage. You just see him one of the best heroes to deal with that counter pushing Keeper of the Light. If Void has a good start, he just jumps on you and kills you, blows the chrono for a solo kill. But it's not wasting it. He doesn't care because he's getting the kills, and whenever those kills are happening, ForLove's not going to be aggressive. They were a lineup that was built around two things: slowing down the Void's farm with really strong lanes, and then winning their 2 solo lanes, and in the mid game with a Panda Blink Dagger and the really fast Radiance timing, they just go push, and Void lineups, Darkseer lineups, are not the best at stopping pushes. But the game is not developed according to plan, and now they're in a position that their lineups are really not particularly well equipped to handle.
Yeah, well, I mean, they still have a chance if they go really, really late game. I mean, the Lone Druid can do something against that phase as well. I mean, it's not the best hero against that, but I mean, they're kind of weaker otherwise. Night Stalker kind of falls off, but so does Brewmaster. But then again, I don't know. It's the Windrunner is getting lots of farm right now, and that can be the key hero for that ForLove turnaround.
Yeah, just because she can stall the fights with Windrun, Shackle Shot, as well as the mech. Unless you get chronoed, you can just be... Well, actually, there's a Hex. There's 2 ways to remove the evasion, so... I don't know, she may melt anyway, but like you said, she can be a crucial stalling hero, as well as a hero that just helps them get to the late game. And their split push is still quite strong. Their counter push is still quite good. I'm not saying Tongfu's won the game, it's just they're in a good position right now, and this is what their lineup wants, is to be ahead, where they can outmap control you and just outfarm you, and basically starve you to death.
Yeah, but now they're going to jive the tier 1 tower. Look at Night Stalker being really aggressive. Mu doesn't really care that there are 5 heroes there. And they want to defend this tier 1 tower, because if you lose this one, you lose so much map control. Even if it's the least important one.
That's a blink in, that's a Panda ultimate, there's your mech, they're gonna boulder one. Chrono, though, stopping everybody, holding them in place while the Panda tries to fight the entire enemy team by himself. There's your Echo Slam, Illuminate splashes through. Some pretty good damage, but the wall was dropped. It's zoning everyone back. Now Night Stalker's trying to bull rush them. Now he's trying to run away. The Lone Druid leaving his bear back. Wall, 8K, man's up. And 8K is caught, left on his zone. In comes Hao. Hao's going to pick him up onto Tutu. Onwards and upwards, they say. The nice thing about that bear, though, is it doesn't care about the wall. That's one good thing they have going their way. And Mu may die. In comes the splash. That was the Night Stalker dropping. The Void was dropping very low to that. But he actually got sent home by Chen, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, actually...
And the Hand of God, the Hand of God was popped like a split second late there, I think.
Yes, I mean, this was a victory for ForLove. I mean,
a big
this is exactly what they wanted to do. They defended the tier 1 tower, and they're going to get the tier 1. I mean, yeah.
And it goes back to the Aegis. Imagine if Night Stalker had it there.
Yeah, well, Darkseer's wanted to play really aggressive. What's he going to do right now?
What you doing? There is no Chronosphere here. They're just going to try and man up to Shackle. Will lock down Hao, and the power shot kills off Chen. Collateral damage, can you say it? Panda blinks forward, clapping Sansheng, overwhelming him. And now the question is, can Void do it? There's no Echo. They may have to run, but another Shackle. Whoa, oh, the tree's dead. The tree's dead, so it doesn't latch. Another Illuminate. That's your team fight here. It's the Keeper of the Light. We're seeing it again. AK's got the blink. He's got the clap, but he can't get it off because Hao charges in and gets that Iron Shield damage going on him. In comes Mu. Shackle will miss. Does Mu fight this? They're all running to they're running to this Lone Druid. They just can't fight against him. Where's the Entangle when they need it? Where's the Entangle when they need it? Do they need it? I don't know. The Radiant's down to 20 HP. ForLove really making a comeback here. At one point they were down 5k, maybe 6k experience in gold, and they're just completely starting to flip around. 7,500 gold lead, but it's headed way up. 12,000 experience lead. Even worse than I thought. It's also starting to turn around. But they don't want to overextend here. Without the Panda ultimate, without the Earthshaker being in the fight, I think they may need to back up soon. Chrono's also up.
Yeah, I mean, this happens a lot in pro matches. You don't have any 5v5 encounter, so you believe you're being stronger.
Oh, AK! He just took a sidestep.
Can't kill that.
He took a sidestep back into the tower, but like you said, they're so tanky, I don't think they can actually kill them. Illuminate comes in again. That's a really nice vacuum wall. That is a lot of damage, but Tutu is a little bit too strong just with the radiance on the bear. Hal surged in. Now he jumps in, but he takes a ton of damage. Not backtracking that one. Shackle on Hal. But all you wants to do is run. He won't be able to. Impaled and now brought down, and they all are forced to back off. They did get the tier 2. They lose the Windrunner here, and now the question is who else is going to drop. My move command is being selected by for some reason. Yeah, Brewmaster's being focused. He has his ult in 5 seconds, but hey, you don't really want to waste it anyway. So I still say overall a victory for ForLove, but Tongfu do get a couple of counter kills that ForLove could have avoided giving up if they just backed off a little bit sooner.
Well, yeah, I mean, the most important thing is that the Lone Druid survived, and it did a lot of damage. He's a bit poor right now. He only has boots for his... I mean, after the Radiance, he didn't buy anything, and he has no money at all.
Wow.
So I'm not sure what he's going for.
I don't think he got any of those kills. Yeah, he's 1, 2, and 4. All he's getting are assists. That's rather unfortunate. He could have really used those in the last fight.
Yeah, and How is now going to push the tower? Nope. Earthshaker is coming to defend, and all they need is that Earthshaker, because... one Fisher and the Creeper is almost dead.
I like how the top tier 1 is still up, and the only reason is that Kodal has been here almost every time.
Yes.
Always there with the Illuminates.
Well, that's why you pick Kodal, right? I mean, great counter pushing and just great team fight. I mean, it's really strong right now. I have to give the advantage to ForLove for the team fights at the moment. When you don't have that Chronosphere and that wall, they can't really do much. I mean, Nightstalker is just running around like a headless chicken trying to avoid people, but it's not enough.
Well, the one big thing in that fight is the supports were safely tucked away at the tower. Like, when the fight started, we had Windrunner, Keeper of the Light, and Earthshaker just all sitting back here. Panda jumped in, and they were just fighting the Panda the entire time while the wall was dropped here. And even the Lone Druid here wasn't really going too far past that wall, so he stayed back, and... the thing is, if Tongfu can just get the supports right away, if they can just burst down the Kodal, if they can jump the Earthshaker, if they get caught out of position, the fight goes much differently. But how many Illuminates did we see in that fight? Like 4 or 5. Something insane for Banana. For me, that's the one thing. Tongfu, they don't want to initiate on the Panda or the Lone Druid. They really want to initiate on these squishy supports.
Yeah, but it's really, really hard. I mean, they have huge range. Illuminate has 1600 range, and Earthshaker's Fisher has... I think 1200, maybe 1000.
Yeah, look at Illuminate. If you just hover over the ability, you can barely even see that green line in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. It's a very long range.
So you can be very, very, very behind and still make an impact in that fight. I mean, just pop inside, drop some Chakra Magic in that Brewmaster or something like that, and you're contributing already.
Here comes the chase. Sansheng running up the hill. Sansheng is a Blink Dagger as well, by the way. I think he may have just gotten it after the last fight. I didn't see him use it in that one, but he may have had it a little bit earlier. That's a pretty decently timed Panda, or Lion Blink. And also he's level 11, and Lion's ultimate gets insanely good when it levels up. Yep,
I mean, the cooldown drops dramatically. I mean, it's 160 seconds at level 1, almost 3 minutes, and it's 100 seconds at level 2. And if you get to level 3, you have an ultimate every 40 seconds, and you really, really want that if you're picking Lion.
Here they come, but these two are running into 4 enemy heroes. They do have backup on the way. ForLove, this is what they want to be doing. They want to just have Lone Druid push one lane with this bear, and leave the other heroes pretty much sitting at the tower, because if they're away from those towers during this nighttime, they're most likely getting picked off.
Look at Tongfu. I mean, they're wasting their 5 heroes' time trying to just get something happening. Of course, I mean, they can farm the neutrals in the meantime, but that means that you can get the Lone Druid farming, as you said, 2 lanes. And
he's ahead of the Void in CS. He's back on top of him, and they pick off the Chen.
And there's a hood on him, which is great right now. And there's, wow, I missed the Chen kill. What happened there?
It looks like both teams have an observer, so Chen thought he could just strut in here, but ForLove picked him off. They may have actually used the smoke. I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was watching the Nightstalker head towards mid, but either way, giving up the Chen. Just the thing with Tongfu is this is their timing when it's nighttime, where they really want to be aggressive. They've got the BKBs out on the Nightstalker and the Void. This is a really big timing for them. The later the game goes, you know, the more time that ForLove's going to have to build up those items so they can withstand the initial barrage of the BKBs and then turn the fights around.
Yep, and that lone druid, look at how safe he feels like farming there.
Look who's not Banana. What? Just running up the hill blind, I assume to ward. And paying for it.
Yeah, probably.
Here comes Moo.
Night Stalker wants to make something happen right now. He's going for the lone druid. He's so tanky.
Oh.
Can they get a chuckle? No,
nice,
great silence.
Nice silence. There's still a fissure, though. But they're caught in a bad position here. Brewmaster's in the middle of the river. He's not blinking away yet, though. He's looking to jump in, maybe. The Chrono didn't actually catch him. It just looks like it's on top of him. Veronica is getting entangled by the bear. In comes Night Stalker. The bear's zoned away from Tutu, and he can't recall it right now. It's taking damage. Oh, boy. Here comes the Panda ultimate, but Tutu's on the run. He's been isolated. Can they pick him off? I think he's going to die here. He's trying to TP away, but there should be an Impale. There should be an Impale. There will be an Impale. And when the fights get chaotic, Tongfu will be kings.
Yep. And that Brewmaster can't run away. He's trying to, but he's going to die right now to 4 heroes, 5 heroes there.
That fight started right where the tier 1 was mid, and look where it ended up. They all just got herded like cattle back to the bottom rune and just completely isolated and picked off.
Yeah, and now this been Roshan, and Roshan this time will be going to How, I think.
This was ForLove, where really they had to sit back and they you know, they don't have a gem up, they don't have really great vision of the map. In fact, they have no vision right now. You just can't be doing that. You have to play more defensively.
Yeah, and Keeper of the Lab opted to go for 4 stuff. I mean, it's great against a melee-heavy lineup. You want that 4 stuff to make them go away from those Faceless Void. Even if you can't 4 stuff inside the Chronosphere, you can 4 stuff the Faceless Void, and you just make him waste 1 or 2 seconds, which is crucial. Because, I mean, you saw that with the Earthshaker feature right there.
Yeah, no, I agree. The one thing, though, is it doesn't help him. If he gets impaled and then Lion ulted, he just dies. That's the problem. We've seen a lot of the other Keeper of the Light players have favored, you know, usually the mech, which is standard, but then they get a Vitality boost, or they get something to help them tank up a little bit. And Banana is looking very squishy.
Yeah, well, they couldn't go for the mech because Windrunner already had that, but I mean, he can even try and go for a pipe if he can get some farm. I mean, that will make him survivable against the Void and Faceless Void. Not the Void. Against the Night Stalker's Void and Lion's spells. But I don't know, they're in a tight spot right now.
Let's see what they can do. That Lone Druid is 20 CS ahead, and yet he's 3k gold behind, which honestly isn't that bad. Like, it feels like it should be a lot worse for ForLove, but Tutu has done a nice job maintaining his farm. He's been using the bear, just pushing out the side lane while his hero farms mid. Things along those lines. And Chen just... Oh, he's got the Ags up. Oh boy, this is a great sieging item. Having that Hand of God every 30 seconds. You could just spam that. He's not level 16 yet, but once he does, it gets incredibly ridiculous.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, they have the Hand of God every 30 seconds in a moment now, and they have the mech and the pipe on the darks here. So their team fight potential right now is huge, and we see a mech on the Radiant team, but we don't see any pipe anywhere close.
And they're up against the lineup where you need a pipe. Earthshaker, Illuminate, as well as Power Shot. Like that alone requires a pipe. Even the Keeper of the Light alone pretty much requires a pipe.
Yep. I mean, if you look at it in a different way, a pipe means that you're just absorbing 1 Illuminate, and in a long fight, that can't be much because you can get 2 or 3 of them.
I don't know about that. Because they have other ways to absorb it too, right? They've got the Chen heal, they've got, and on a 30-second cooldown, they've got the mech, so... I mean, it adds up. By itself, not enough, maybe, but in combination with the others, I think it is. And also, they do have BKBs on their 2 core carries.
Yeah, I think the problem now is that Earthshaker needs 1500 gold right away because he needs that Blink Dagger to make something happen. Otherwise, he'll just be a defensive Earthshaker that pops a couple fissures, but I mean, Keeper of the Light is doing that already. If he gets Dagger, he can initiate. He can initiate right now, which no other hero can.
With the BKBs, they can just jump the Earthshaker. So, like you said, he really needs a blink because he has to sit incredibly far back, or Void can just jump in with the BKB, chrono him, and kill him, and there's no way to stop it.
Yep. And, I mean, that's the weakness of the Earthshaker. He's a melee hero. Of course, he can stun you for 6 seconds straight, but he has to be next to you for that. And I mean, he's not the tankiest of heroes. I mean, he's tanky for support, but if he doesn't get any item, which he normally doesn't, it hurts him, and he has to play really passive and really well behind.
Yeah, even...
Oh, look at that Lone Druid.
Yeah, he's not in a good position here. He's actually sending the bear back and the hero forward, and Tutu may pay for this. I'm surprised he doesn't expect this, to be totally honest. We look at the map right now, there's just... all they see is one bottom. It is the Void. Maybe they think there's a 4-man smoke behind him, but there's not. That Void is completely fine. on his own. Night Stalker gets picked off mid, actually. And in exchange for the Lone Druid, that's a trade they'll be pretty happy with. As Void is just free farming bottom. And he's got his Butterfly, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
And, yeah, that's... Does he have the Butterfly? Only the Eagle Song.
Well, no, but
right?
he's got the gold for it.
Oh, yeah. Will he go for it?
Oh, yeah, he's got an Aegis.
He's got the Aegis, so yeah, definitely.
And Void's not the best buyback here anyway. When you have BKB and Chrono, you're only using those once anyway.
That's right. On the other hand, what are we seeing? I mean, Lone Druid is going for that Curious, but he's still kind of far away. He needs 1,000 more gold for the recipe. And Brewmaster is really poor, and that's a problem right now. He could be going for an Axe Scepter or something to make an impact. But as it is right now, just a level 2 ultimate and not too much HP or anything to make a difference.
Yeah, I don't know. Late game Void can just kill the bears as well. The Brewmaster Primal Split, the ancient aspects, he can just kill them. Just auto attack them, and with Cleave as well, he'll bring them down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough right now. Look at everyone farming for Tongfu. Darkseer is farming here. Chen is farming. He has 3 creeps, and now he went for the Alpha Wolf, which is great because with the Alpha Wolf now, Night Stalker and Faceless Foes are going to be hitting really.
And
hard.
he's got an Egg, so we may see an Eggs used just to save that Alpha Wolf.
Yeah,
and it's worth it. I mean, if you actually look at the Alpha Wolf, it gives you a crap load of damage. The critical strike we don't care about, but the pack leaders are bonus 30% damage. What is Vengeful Spirit? 36?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's almost as good as a Vengeful Spirit when it comes to the damage art, anyway. Kind of ridiculous.
I mean, and it's only your base damage, right? I mean, your plus damage items don't count, but you don't have to go for those. I mean, you have Butterfly, you have lots of stats for that Faceless Void, but Night Stalker as well, so it's going to be pretty much a 20% damage increase on them.
Here comes the Illuminate. They do have a decent counter push lineup, but the problem is Void's just tanking the tower, tanking the Illuminates. Now he's jumping in. He's going to Chrono 3 in a box. He catches them all, and now silencing Hansi. There will be no counter initiate. There's your Impale. Endless lockdown. Brewmaster forced staff to safety, but you can't run from the Night Stalker at the night. Here he goes. It is going to be... It looks like the Earthshaker joining the fight. He's got the Echo. They get caught in a kind of a bad position here. Where's that Echo? Now it's thrown out. The gem on the floor, but Hao is still surviving. Hao is still very, very tanky. The Aegis has been used up, but he's going to come back out of the Cyclone and maybe look to fight. Hand of God's being popped, and now they're running. They've overextended, actually, with the Night Stalker dead, and I actually don't know if they saved the gem. We'll check in just a second. Windrunner picks off Sansheng. In comes 8K, manning up on Hao. They got to get an entangle here. No, they enchant... Oh, nope, he's not able to escape. Or they're not able to kill him off there. I thought there was an enchant totem, but I guess not. Or was he sent back?
He survived that. The key thing is that Darkseer... Oh, he doesn't have the gem. It has the gem now.
It's back at the fountain. They're leaving it for the Night Stalker.
Okay, fair enough. But I mean, they overextended it. They really felt comfortable going just touring to that fountain.
Look at the tower. They didn't touch the tower. It took 0 damage.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they took that tier 2, which was almost dead right here. But, I mean... Yeah, it was kind of greedy. And you don't want to be greedy in situations like this. Remember, I mean, we're getting close to the really, really late game, where if you die, you can spend 60, maybe 100 seconds waiting for the respawn. And that's enough time for a Kodal, Lone Druid, Earthshaker thing to push you just straight to your base.
And they do have the gem back up on the Night Stalker. There's no Ags yet. That's something where the map control maybe not as good as it really could be. And losing that fight, ldDOTA pushes bottom lane all the way to the enemy tier 2. He's got his Assault Cuirass out. The Blink Dagger for Earthshaker is coming. And the BKBs are starting to get a little bit lower on the cooldowns. 8 seconds for the Void, 7 seconds for the Night Stalker. So the openings for Earthshaker to find that big Echo, for the Windrunner to find a 2-hero Shackle, they'll start to have more time as those BKB cooldowns decrease. More time where heroes aren't magic immune. I don't know. Tongfu haven't won this game yet, Bruno. They gotta buckle down here. They can't just assume that the game is theirs. It's their advantage. They should go on to win this, really, for this position. But if they make another big mistake like that, it's gonna get a lot tougher.
I don't know, man. I mean, they still have the advantage. Look at that Alpha Wolf still alive and kicking. As long as they have that, they clearly have the game.
Oh, it's such a boss. They need to work on the model for it, though, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's kind of ugly.
He's an ugly look. Yeah, then the head's just sort of, like, out there. I don't know, it feels like it's a disembodied head from the portrait.
Well, is Faceless Boy going for a Blade Mail?
No, it's got to be a Daedalus.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I am not used to see the broadsword. Just I mean, you buy the Chrysalis whole.
Especially at this
yeah,
point, you're
that's
38
precious.
minutes in. Like, this is an economical void. This is your thrift shopper void. That should be a skin for him.
Kind of weird, but yeah, I mean, definitely gone for a Daedalus right there. Makes lots of sense. Brewmaster happily is having some more money, and he opted not to finish the Dark Scepter, but have a Blood's Offering, which helps along Druid as well. I mean, kind of makes sense. I'm not sure it's the best tool, because with the Cuirass and the Blood Mirzara, you don't get plus 10 armor, you just get plus 5.
They do get the
yeah,
lifesteal, but realistically, if you're not man fighting Void anyway, you're kind of kiting him with the bear, and the hero lifesteal doesn't really help. It's more of like a mid-game push. We'll see. It's not bad. It does have some synergy with Lone Druid, but against a Void, specifically, yeah, I don't know that you're actually going to be using that lifesteal, especially not in your main hero. And even the bear, I mean, the bear's either entangling Void and killing him, or the bear's running for its life because it's getting ganked. That's pretty much what's happening in these fights.
Yep, exactly. At least Earthshaker has a Blink Dagger right now, and they have a smoke, but they don't want to. Do they want to smoke? I'm not sure. I mean, even if they go 5-man, I don't know if they can accomplish anything, and they're going for that, as they say that.
The thing is, like, for them to take a fight outside of their base, they have to hit...
Oh, it's Roche. Oh. It's Roche.
Oh, it's
Roche
up.
is coming up. They want to smoke for Roche.
And there's a Centaur, or there's an Ursa here, getting bashed, sacrificing its life for the Horde. Just to scout it out. And Hal's going to push top. This is going to draw some heroes back. The Lone Druid Bear could be left, I suppose, to scout Roche, but if anybody TP's top, Tongfu's going Roche immediately. And they have the tier 2, so Void can get here. Yep. This is smart play by Hal. This is what you need to do, is that carry, the split pushing carry in this game.
Exactly. Now he gets that, and he's probably going to TP to that tier 2 mid tower and get straight away to that.
They're not going to go for it. Even with the bear there, I still think this is something they could do. And fighting near the Roshan pit, sure, you're up against some good AoE, but you have the kings of AoE of this game, the Void and the Darkseer, and it looks like they are going to go for it. Although they're giving time.
Win, however, they get to deny the tower that was almost free for Hao there. They wasted the glyph. It's not a waste if you are actually making something happen. And lie of waiting just straight away.
And on top of that, they're really slow going into the pit, and their Void isn't even here yet. I don't know. You don't just want to hang around the pit, because then you're getting Illuminate spammed, you're getting Power Shot spammed. You want to just cleanly take the Roche. The Bear's getting ganked, though. Does he have a resummon? He should. Big Blink! Echo Slam! And can they block down Moo? He's not actually taking enough damage. In comes the Impale, focusing on Tutu, manning up on Tutu. Chrono thrown on the supports, and now they want to bring Tutu down, but they just can't do it. He's actually juking them. The Panda Aspect's getting focused. The Panda Aspect's gonna drop. They do kill him off. He's dead for 60. No Panda ultimate. There's your Fissure, but it doesn't look like enough. The Illuminate spam bringing the support slow, but not dealing with Hao. There's a way to deal with them. The 2-hero shackle, the BKB cooldown coming into play now. It's not lasting as long, and they may actually be able to survive through this and look to get away. The bear needs an entangle, and Hao is getting them, and the vacuum, though, turning this around potentially. Another shackle isn't going to latch this time. Still chasing on Hao. Now he's mono-leaked. Now he's getting entangled. He may actually drop here. Can they bring him down? He doesn't have the lifesteal because the Vlad's is not near him. The Night Stalker rejoins the fight, though. He bought back for this. Chasing onto Banana. And it's finally done. The slaughter is over, Bruno. I don't know if they can go Roche anymore, though.
I think that they can, because they killed 2 heroes to their Jet Lion dying, so they're probably going for it. But it's going to be a very, very slow, because Hao is not there. He's getting
It's still full there. HP. It's gonna be tough. BKB is back up for the Void. He may just be able to jump. I don't know, though. There's so many force stats, like, he needs the Chrono to get a kill. Otherwise, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, unless he goes for the support and straight away, and he can go for that. Just can bait going to Roche and just jumping there in the middle of that support. But it's not over. I mean, they have 4 heroes already here, and Earthshaker is coming back on in a second, so
they're all here.
It's going to be kind of hard.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to, the Drunken Haze is gonna make this so much harder, because he has to BKB to remove that, and you don't want to waste it just to remove Drunken Haze. Now they're going on Banana. He takes some good damage from longdd. Chrono catches Tutu only. Can they bring him down inside this Chrono? Remember, he's got a Ghost Scepter. If he doesn't go down, he now will Ghost Scepter. There's your Hand of God, keeping everyone healthy on Tongfu, but Hao's entangled. Hao's not actually doing auto attacks right now. He's not getting the damage out there. He needs to start pumping it out, chasing onto Tutu. Tutu's already used his Ghost Scepter. No way out for him, I think. Force Staff Number 5 billion, still running, is going to drop. Big echo, big counter initiate, but not on the carries. It was only on the supports. You looking for another shackle, not finding it. That was a great fissure. That's a great illuminate. Those were some great AoE nuke combos, but where's the physical damage follow-up? They just don't have it. Now the mono-leak on Hao. Too late, though, I think, and now the chase continuing. They surge Hao. He will be chasing onto this. He's got the Ion Shell on himself. They're going to dive the base again, but Bruno this time, it's an ultra kill for Hao. It may be a rampage. He wants the rampage, and he gets it.
Yikes. I don't think there's any coming back from here.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah, there's a GG.
Tongfu. Some miscues, but overall, longdd, you gotta just credit his jungle play this game. He put them in a position where they had a shot, where frankly, the way the lanes were looking, I wasn't convinced Hao would get any farm this game.
You got a lot. I mean, well, did have lots of farm. And the most important thing is that I think the last 3 minutes, longdd has been casting his ultimate on cooldown every single time. You see how that illuminate spam is annoying? Well, the hand of God spam has to be really even more annoying because you seem that they were going to kill the Faceless Void or the Night Stalker and then a healing hand is called and everyone's back at full health. It's ridiculous, but well done for him. I mean, longdd is my MVP of the game right away.
Yeah, for me, no question either. Mu, I would say him, and then if you wanted to say 2 players had the biggest impact, I would say Mu, although he kind of threw away the Aegis of that one fight. The key was Chen gave them the good start top, but then Mu really controlled the map well. And you could even say credit the supports for helping out Mu, because Lion having that early TP scroll, Panda would have most likely found a solo kill without the Lion TP, or at least gotten away. Instead, he dies, that delays the Blink Dagger. Tongfu take game 1.
Yep, I'm very convincingly so. Well, I mean,
I felt there were some. I felt it wasn't the smoothest performance, but overall a solid one from them. There were definitely some mistakes, though.
I think that ForLove failed to capitalize. I mean, it was their game to lose from the laning stage. I still feel that they outdrafted Tongfu, and they outlaned them in the first 5 minutes, but after that, it all went away.
Completely agree. And I think a lot of that is the first Panda ult just being blown. Like, normally you have that first Panda ult, you get a couple kills in the tower. That's what we've seen, like, IG do when Ferrari's playing the Brewmaster, or LGD do when it was Yao or Xiaowei playing it, but it just didn't happen this game.
Yep.
So I'm LD, he's Bruno. This is a best out of 3. That was only game 1, but Tongfu currently leading it. The winner of this particular matchup moves on to play I don't know if it's tomorrow, but they play in the semifinals against LGD International. The winner of this best out of 3, currently Tongfu leading at 1-0 for love. Now it becomes an elimination game. They got to win game 2 to force that game 3. As for Tongfu, they'd love for it to be a clean toe sweep. These guys played a lot of games yesterday. In spite of that, off to a good start here today. We'll be back with some more action and highlights, and a look forward to game 2 in just a little bit. Stay tuned for that.